Welcome to Black Smoke Barbecue. We are a collaborative group that focuses on different aspects of barbecue from pitmasters from all across North America. Barbecue is a culture, and we discuss topics, ideas, and the methods of it on the Black Smoke Barbecue podcast. Our mission is to spotlight those lesser known content creators in backyard barbecue, catering, food truck operations, as well as the African American experience in modern day barbecue. Sit back, relax, listen, and enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the Black Smoke Barbecue podcast. I'm your friend Charlie from Maverick Barbecue. How you guys doing out there? Welcome back to the podcast. We've been away for a little bit, but welcome back to the pod. We have a lot to cover today. I want to talk about who's on the pod with me today. We got Geoff over in Nevada. How you doing, Geoff?
Hey, doing great, man. How about you, Charlie?
I'm pretty good. We got Killer Joe over there in Arizona. How you been, man?
Excellente, man. Good to see y'all.
Nice to see you. We got T over there in South Carolina.
What's happening, man? What's happening?
Not much, man. Glad to have you. And Texas, we got the other Geoff. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. And we want to welcome a new addition to the group. Everybody, give a great welcome to Felix Irvin, Sauce Boss himself. Welcome to the Black Smoke
Thank you, guys.
Barbecue crew, man. Welcome.
I appreciate it. Thank you. It's great being here. Look forward to it.
Yeah, man, it's great having you in the crew. We had a great episode with you and great conversation.
Yeah, it was fun.
I guess it was really fun because it got a chemistry a little bit, and further conversation. You're part of the crew. It's great to have you. Great to have you, man. You bring a lot of knowledge to the group, and we're about to have some fun today, man. So before we get into it, I wanted to go around and ask you guys what you've been up to since we last did a pod together. It's been a little bit. The weather has changed, and you guys have been off doing your content creating things. So let's start off with Geoff. I'm going to call you Geoff and you Geoffrey. Just to keep this simple. So, Geoff, what you been up to, man?
Man, just getting some cooks in, and work's kind of had me a little bit busy, but just get out there and relax when I can and get some cooks in on the smokers. And just getting ready for the summer season, man. It's finally out here. We actually really gotten to where we're starting to get up into the 70s and 80s. So I'm really enjoying that, man. We had a really cold March out here, but March and April, but I'm glad we're getting into some warm weather now.
Yeah, this winter was hell, man.
It's coming.
Yeah, when the heat comes.
Oh, we had a winter? I'm in Mobile. I didn't know we had a winter.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, Felix, how did it go for you? How's the winter, and are you happy it's over?
Let me see. Where I came from in South Dakota, I think they had about 3 feet total of snow. And now Mobile, Alabama, 0. So it was a great winter. I think the coldest it got was about like 45 degrees. I was like, wow, bring it. Yeah, like it wasn't bad at all. I still did what I do, So
I used to love the cool weather, man, but as I get older, them joints don't feel it no more, man. I need a little bit of humidity, so I appreciate
on the real. Gotta keep it lubed up.
Yeah, you gotta keep it lubed up. So, Joe, how's it been for you, man? What you been up to, man?
Man, you know what? Usually I'll be telling you same old soup, just reheated. But actually, man, this is actually my first week back. I took a couple weeks off, man, did some stuff with the family, got a little vacation time in. I'll take a second to give me a shameless plug. I just dropped a video today. Make sure everybody check that out. I got a Cajun turkey breast over there, hit it with a little bit of hot honey at the end. Some you'll like, But other than that, man, I'm trying to get back in there, man. After going strong for so long, I took 2 weeks off. It felt weird editing my video.
I bet it did, man. The muscle memory got a little weak.
I got lost it.
Are you getting your mojo back though, or do you feel it coming back a little bit? Just a little bit. You feel it coming back?
What's that?
I don't think he can hear you.
Oh, do you feel your mojo coming back a little bit since you got that video published?
Yeah, it feels good, man. Like I said, I like consistency, so it's amazing that you take just a little bit of time off, and all of a sudden it feel like, oh yeah, I got to remember to do this. I got to think about it again. For a second, it was just flowing right off the back.
Yeah. So are you happy that the winter's over? I don't know how the weather is.
We don't. Yeah, even though me and Geoff isn't too far away from each other, I didn't see too much snow down this way at all. Being I'm in the valley, so we down low. There is some places in some mountainous areas around here in Arizona where they probably definitely got some white mountain tops for what it's worth at some point. But kind of like Felix, man, I say our low, we'll usually get close to freezing, maybe hit it here and there in the middle of a night. So, I mean, our low was probably around 50 or 35 or something like that. So nothing to complain about, man. I'm Ohioan, man. So I'm used to seeing real snow.
Yeah.
Oh, your joints love you too.
But we looking good right now, though. It's nice out. It's pretty much this is everybody else's summer before we get into our summer.
Are the flies getting to you yet?
Man, they coming. I'm trying to figure out some new tricks this year.
It's always something, man.
In Mobile, they say screens. Screens help.
That's about it.
It's a kind of inside-outside joke. They're attracted to smoke, so if you don't smoke, they won't come. That's what they say.
Yeah, they be.
Yeah, but
I got a lot of plants in my backyard too. It'd be a mess at some points.
Man, AT. So South Carolina. Oh man, yeah. We talked a lot about the weather. It's kind of similar because we're one state away. What you been up to, man? Are you happy the weather's getting a little warm?
Yes and no, man. I prefer the cold. I don't like to be hot, but I like when the weather's nice and put on some shorts. So it's kind of a plus and minus for me. I like the temperature it is now, but once it get a little hotter, I'm gonna be inside more often.
Yeah. We still got issues with bees too, so that kind of cross.
Oh yeah, they're back. So they left for a little bit because we had that fluctuation. How South Carolina do is hot and cold and hot and cold. But they're back. They're back.
Oh, that's just awesome. Oh man, we got to figure that out. I have a similar problem. They got a vendetta out for me, and I don't appreciate it. So I don't know. We got to figure that out.
They remember you from attacking the family member.
It feels like it. This that one time I went outside and I just had like the water hose just going.
Oh yeah, they gunning for you. They gunning for you.
Literally, man. Oh man. So you've been putting out some videos on your YouTube channel. So
yeah.
Great.
Got some other content coming. I'm a couple of weeks behind, but I did some since we last spoke. I did some stuffed shrimp, some crab cakes.
Ooh.
I did a chuck roast.
Sound good.
Damn, you cooking everything.
Chicken.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
You think that's it? All right, we're gonna find out one day.
I gotta go through my videos. I gotta go through my video. I'm behind.
He's like, what other animal is off the list?
Scroll through your photos app real quick and see if that's it. Oh man. And Geoffrey, hey, Texas. I saw a lot of stuff on the news of Texas. How you doing, man? You good?
Bruh. So, I've been on a little hiatus, mostly because of the weather, but it ain't because it was cold, because Texas don't get that cold, but around this time of the year, them thunderstorms and tornadoes be rolling through, so they kept me in the house, and I'm about to start finding them things back up so I can get my mojo back for this Memorial Day and 4th of July cookings. So I won't be rusty. Have people complaining about my barbecue skills, and like y'all, man, I got these little pest problems, man. Every time around this year, it's like wasps, these yellow jackets. It's like 2 spots on the front porch and 2 spots on the patio. Every year they come and build their nest. So I just be going out there every now and again. I pull my little blowtorch out, just burn them down. Because I was like, if I burn it
Committing
enough
hate
that
crimes.
whatever they're using to make them come back or go away. But it's like they just keep on coming. I just keep on burning, and I'm like, one of us gonna give up sooner or later. But I got a lot of propane, so they can do what they want.
Man, I got flies coming for the food. You got yellow jackets coming for you.
I mean, they be right at the doors too. Like when you open it and look up, it's right there.
They be looking out like, where you at?
And the patio.
You coming out? You coming outside?
I'd be like cracking the patio door, reaching my hand out, getting the torch, turn it on before I step outside, and tear their asses up, and I'm gone.
Oh man. So you guys ever have to make life decisions out there, like when you holding or like you turning the meat or you dealing with the fire, you like stoking the fire, you got something really that can hurt you, and to be a wasp like get like right there. Do you have to make a life decision? You ever had that happen to you?
Bro, I'd be out there. I'd be every 5
I'll
seconds looking.
Yeah, gotta take it, man.
Man, you guys should come here. They don't have hardly anything here. You get like 1 or 2 flies, and the flies here, like when they get in the food truck, when you go to kill them, they go to the door. You open the door, they leave. I'm like, all right,
flies. Okay, let's get them over here.
Yeah, like they literally just go to the window. I'm like, this is different. Open the window, they just fly out. I'm like, bet.
They're like, man, it ain't that serious.
We don't want no smoke.
Literally. They probably health department spies.
Oh, spy flies. I can see that.
Spy flies.
Spy flies. That's a good one.
Yeah. So it's May, guys. National Barbecue Month. There's a lot of stuff that happens in the United States, at least, and it trickles over to the rest of the world. That they say this is the start of barbecue season for most people, but we grill smoke all year round, right? We don't stop.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we got to make that money and feed that family. So, T, we talked about National Barbecue Month a few times, and I remember May rolled up. We didn't even notice, and it was like, "Oh snap! It's National Barbecue Month." So you're usually on top of it, but this year's like it's crazy. But what when National Barbecue Month rolls around, what does that mean to you? Like, do you see things out there change in the stores? Do you see more traffic in certain areas where the grills at? Do people like, oh, I want that one? What do you see out there?
Not as much yet. I think more so towards the end because of Memorial Day. For a lot of people, that's like the national kickoff is Memorial Day. That's when everybody just gets everything started. Yeah.
They got those beach parties and stuff.
And that's when everybody floods to the beach. Memorial Day weekend, and it's crazy from then.
Yeah, man. We got Memphis in May coming. We got the Barbecue Showdown that's coming on Netflix season 2. There's a lot of stuff that happens. Let's go around the table. So Geoff, like, what do you see out there, and like the difference in Nevada? Like, what goes on? Talk about Geoff in Nevada. What goes on starting this month versus what you've seen since you've been there prior months?
I tell you what, man, from a barbecue sense, I'll say this now. I'm gonna officially declare it. Nevada is not a barbecue state.
Really?
It's not. I've found that out, man. And in terms of finding, barbecue supply, back in Georgia, man, you could go anywhere and get. I mean, you had Academy Sports, you had all these different places you could go to get wood and stuff like that. I have to find a wood supplier out here. And the barbecue supply stores, they're really not barbecue supply stores. The one that I work with, Premier Fire and Barbecue, those guys carry everything. They're literally the only store really in the Metro Las Vegas area that caters to charcoal.
Wow.
Everything else, man, is folks just trying to get you to buy an outdoor kitchen and a propane grill. And I'm being dead serious. I mean, when you go in there, you're going in to look at, an outdoor gas fireplace, somebody that'll put a TV outside for you, somebody that'll put an outdoor kitchen out there, and a propane grill or a propane, griddle, stainless steel griddle. It's nothing really from the aspect of, the charcoal or the wood, you're not going to find anything near what you find on the, in Texas or, the East Coast, in Nevada. I'll say that for sure. I can tell you that over here, it's just not, it's really non-existent. You've got to really research where you want to get your stuff. But they do. I mean, the warm weather does have folks coming out. They're getting ready for, you talked about Memorial Day and stuff like that. It's a bunch of stuff to do, but people just aren't grilling like that. I'm literally the only one in my subdivision I know that has the smoke, has some post-oak smoke or something rolling from the backyard.
I figure you're going to be a
we could talk later about it.
Yeah. I see the trend that trickled over back to California with the I guess the Texas style barbecue. I saw that on YouTube not too long ago, but I'm surprised at least maybe like Santa Maria style cooking isn't popular there. You don't even see that either.
It's the
price of those grills.
Yeah, that, and I'll be honest with you too, man. I think some of it may have to do with the age of folks too. I mean, it's a higher, higher age group here, but people just really are just into that propane, man, and that's what they're pushing. Like, I've gone to 5 different barbecue supply stores here, and only one of them had charcoal grills, and that was Premier Barbecue and Fire. Everybody else, it was 2 of them that had green eggs, and that was it. That was all. They just had 2 different size green eggs, but everything else was just propane. So it's just a different beast out here, man.
Yeah, I guess they're more on the flex side of it than the actual, enthusiast side. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. So Felix, like what type of traffic do you see or do you expect where you're at? Like when this barbecue season hits?
So far I haven't noticed anything, mainly because in May I'm finding out that there's so many everything. It's like National Awareness Month for multiple different things in May. And unless you're in the barbecue, you don't know it,
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know May was barbecue month, because for me, every day is barbecue day if I want to do it. You know what I mean? Like every day is barbecue month, because it's food, it's community, and there's no just specific month for community for me. When I was in South Dakota, I was smoking in 2 feet of snow. Down here, smoke it if you got it. That's how it is for me, So, but like he was saying, I've been a lot of different places, and in South Dakota, it's a lot of propane. Down here, you do have a lot more wood fire grillers and whatnot, but it's kind of old school. Like, the guys have the old stick burners. You see them on the side of the road, and stuff like that. And guys have their old stick burners and whatnot. And then pellets are, of course, everywhere. And I'm just trying to, when I talk, I preach gravity fed, just because the efficiency of a pellet, but you still get to use your charcoal and wood. And just doing what I do, I like to make things easy as possible and as good as possible. And coming from a traditional smoker, I'd never thought I would go away from that.
We're going to get back to that gravity fed. So listeners out there, bookmark this. We're going to be back to that topic. So, Joe, you're in Arizona. I would assume they take on a little bit of the practices of maybe a little bit of California, maybe a little bit of Texas. What's the scene out there this time of year?
I say overall, you're going to get a little Texas probably everywhere. That's not the Cowboys talking either. I'm just saying. I think just they got that, that's one of them big names, you know what I mean, within barbecue, that no matter what, as you get transplants, you get people that move from one place to the next. or somebody, if you want to start a restaurant, you're going to look at the demographics and what makes the most sense. That's something everybody always looking for. And if you can get something like that out there and have something that tastes halfway authentic, you'll have a whole lot of people that's probably going to be like, oh, I found that one place I can go to get me some catfish, or that one place I can get me some such and such that's actually the way it's supposed to be. And, you know, you could usually do well. So, like, Arizona is a big restaurant scene. So there's a ton of different fine dining options and stuff like that. So you get a lot of different stuff overall. So there are some, and it's horrible, I haven't even been to most of them. There are some traditional pitmaster style restaurants out here. I've been to a couple, but there's some that I'll see on some channels and stuff like that, like one off the top of my head I'm thinking about is like Little Miss Barbecue, that I haven't necessarily been to, and that do it the traditional style way, cooking all the food the night before, trying to sell out what they can, so on and so forth. Now, as far as the style that they're using, as far as their cooking, you know, it's a lot of people out here that came from somewhere else, just like myself. So I think a lot of times it's probably lending themselves to either where they came from or what kind of style food they like, you know, for themselves. Yeah. But like, kind of like what Geoff was saying, I bet you in Nevada, you got an older population, a population that's got money. A lot of times they ain't thinking about going out there in the backyard and cooking. I'll go somewhere and go get me a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
And we get some of that here as well, you know, with the Arizona and the suburbs and stuff like that. I think you get some of that. They get mixed in that might pull people away. On top of the fact that don't forget about that good old fashioned heat. It's the same reason I came out from Ohio. I'm Midwesterner, you know what I mean? Yeah. We always would, you know, wash your car in the backyard or whatever have you. That was something to do. You know, that was something that, you know, you knew you was about to do something then. You get that car washed, take that shower, it's time to ride. But man, I can't tell you the last time I done washed my car by hand. I'm talking about over 10 plus years. You know, it's a different world out here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like everybody else, I'm going somewhere. Let somewhere place wash that thing away.
You don't have time for that. You don't have time for that.
I ain't got that time for that heat. Nope. I'm trying to tell you. Too much. You don't even get the bubbles on the car. That stuff will dry up, man. You know, when it starts really getting hot out here, it's just a different culture, man. So I think some of that stuff be pushed out. I find a lot of our barbecue stores like the one that you go to, Geoff. I got a couple like that that's really got a little bit of everything in there. I think majority, you still got most people buying them whole outdoor backyard kitchens. They be having a lot of those bigger pits and signature type stuff that I don't even think they hardly sell because most people don't want to go over there and do the work with them. A lot of pellet grills, you know, a lot around here. People will grab.
Yeah.
Wow, man, that's interesting. T. So, South Carolina. How's the? You know, it's hot. For some reason, people like to go outside when it's hot and humid, and there's different type of heats. You know, across there's different type of heats, man. You know, I feel like I want that dry heat that y'all got. You know, tired of this humidity. You know,
the humidity is
be hot and humid. No, don't do that. Don't combine two things together. So how do you? It's weird how this happens though, but it feels like the same thing. Kind of, it picks up. I guess it picks up around this time of year in South Carolina, but you know, it technically shouldn't drop off because it doesn't really get super cold. Like, do you see any change in behavior now that it's technically the start of barbecue season?
Yeah, you can see it in the stores. It's all type of grills, like the $20 grills. They're out. Different types of charcoal, briquettes, lump. They got like the wood splits out. It's a whole bunch of stuff out. It's like they're gearing up because people are outside. And of course, Academy. I always go to Academy. Academy always has like a bunch of stuff. But in South Carolina, you can find charcoal in the grocery store.
Yeah,
I mean,
CVS.
It's the South. Yeah, I mean, it's the South.
You can find some Kingsford somewhere.
Yeah, matter of fact, those are on sale.
If you want to use that, just saying,
it's a stacks high.
Oh, they stack them high now.
Yeah. Got a bunch of those in Sam's. It's so they're gearing up because it's hot outside.
Yeah.
It shouldn't get cold again, but I mean, never say never. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know, but I have hope. The body has to get used to some type of, stability with temperature. I feel like we need that, God. Give that to us, please. Um Now, there are like some events that are going on too, I guess, more now than usual. I know that Scott's A1 barbecue, I
Oh
guess they're
yeah.
picking up. Yeah.
Yeah, he does pop-ups. I think it seems like it's about every other week. And
Yeah.
Mother's Day is coming up, so it's nothing this week. But it seems like
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
he has a pop-up, I'm never in town.
Man, you need to talk to him about that. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Work on my schedule. So, Texas. It's one of the hearts of barbecue. You have South Carolina, you have Texas, you have those are like the kind of the big staples of
Don't forget about Tennessee.
Tennessee. Oh yeah, Tennessee. My bad. I no disrespect, Tennessee. Those are the big staples. Don't want nobody to come get me. Big staples out there. So does barbecue ever drop off in Texas? Because it doesn't seem like it on YouTube.
No, it don't. Barbecue is like 390 days a year here. There's not enough days to keep up with it. So, I mean, stores, the only way you're not going to find something if it's sold out.
Oh,
It's not going to be because they said, hey, it's December. We're not going to put charcoal or wood or a grill. No, it's going to be there until it's sold out. And then they going to get some
Isn't it
more.
right? Like you can buy your grill and a gun in Texas.
Hey,
Yep.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Get a
Yeah,
grill,
yeah.
some charcoal, some ammo, and your guns to kill the food that you're going to cook. Do it all in the same place.
Full circle.
And the only thing that changed here is around about this time of the year, like state fairs and stuff. And then it's just more barbecue and everything everywhere, or deep fried ribs and some kind of funny
Oh.
made briskets and whatever you want to try. But
Like
all year long, you can hit any block, any parking lot, you're going to find you somebody's barbecue trailer parked out there. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's a lot. So,
well,
They
like
got
you said,
volume. We're good by volume.
yeah, volume. Just in case that one doesn't work out, there's that one right there.
hey, sometimes it's more than one in the same parking lot.
Oh man. Well, hopefully if one is bad, choice worked out for you. So you got options. All right. So let's talk about another topic here. So I want to give a couple of you guys the opportunity to talk about new toys that you may have, or the love instrument that you have to make your beautiful food, if I must say that so eloquently. So Geoff, you got a new pellet grill. Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, I've gone over to the dark side, man. The folks over at Gorilla Grills sent me out a Silverback AT, and that was the first pellet grill, man. And I'll be honest with you, I mean, I actually enjoy it. It's from a standpoint of, and I'll say it from this perspective, from a standpoint of reliability, like and the engineering that they put into it. I'm not saying I'm all pellet smoker now, but the one thing they have, one of the big things is like, it's meant to be kind of a set it and forget it type situation, right? Mm-hmm. But they really, I mean, I can sit up here and go on the app and go on my phone right now, and I can turn it right on from Wi-Fi. With my other grills that had the Wi-Fi connection, it really didn't hold or anything. I only connected that thing one time, and it's still, connected. I don't have to worry about any loss of connection. Now you do got to remember that the cover is on it, until you want to go out there and open the door when you turn that thing on or whatever, so you don't have any flame out or whatever. But
yeah, I saw some of those.
yeah. But it's a really good little smoker, man. I mean, it's got a good little bit of volume on there. And I'm kind of exploring some different pellets right now. As far as some different blends, really like the lumberjack blend They got an oak and they got hickory. I really like both of those. But just from that aspect, man, I mean, it's good. And I will say this, man. Greer made a point to me one time about how he got a better smoke ring. I know it doesn't really matter for much, but he got a better smoke ring on his pellet grill than he did his 980. And I'll say the same thing, man. I mean, this thing is making smoke rings for days. So I'm just like, okay. Wow. I was like, all right, well, but it's a good cooker, man. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's, and this, just enjoy playing with the pellets and, getting some good pellet blends in there too.
I haven't used a pellet grill, I don't think yet, to have a good feel on if I like it or not. But I will say this, that grill looked dope. And those videos you made, you did a tri-tip, right? Did my memory serve me correctly? You did a tri-tip on there, right?
Yeah. I just did one the other day. I'm actually finishing up the reel on that. But I've done some chicken, done a few things on there, man. It's come out, it's come out pretty good, man. I mean, I don't have any complaints about it. I've definitely put it through its paces, but when it comes to overall flavor though, man, I'm never going to give up that over the coal, Kamado style cooking or direct heat right over the charcoal or an offset. I'll always take that over a pellet grill, but it does some good work, man. And it's easy enough to use where I see why people go to that as an option. From that standpoint, especially before propane, that you won't give me to touch propane unless I have to. But I see why it's an option for some folks.
Yeah. So I guess like when people are trying to decide on what type of smoker they want to get to start out, what would you suggest to them? Would this be a good option for them to have as their first venture into doing, it's not live fire cooking, but, get you used to smoking protein?
It's a good option. I'll say this, you can either have two types of approach to it. You can go this route and say it's a safe way and build yourself up, or you can just do like I did and just dig into charcoal and just go straight in that and learn how to manage fire. I think that's the biggest thing. People, and I've told this to folks before, I think if you just sit up here, those $20 grills or whatever, like I start on in Walmart, that's actually a good little grill to start on because you actually literally learn how to manage a fire on that.
That's right. You got to.
You learn the aspect of either doing offset or banking your coals to one side or doing a steak method or whatever it is to control that fire. And that really teaches you the elements and the fundamentals of barbecue and smoking. So I tell a lot of people, hey, start with that and just don't put a whole lot of charcoal in there and just kind of go from there and learn from that side. If you want to go the route with the pellets, you can, but at the same time, man, I just love the flavor that you can get. And I think we were talking on another podcast episode about it, man, dude, nothing beats the flavor over coals. Like when you have that, one of my favorite things to cook, man, is, I'll take chicken thighs and sausage and put it on a skewer and just put that direct heat over a coal. And the flavor you get from that fat rendering down on there and that fat smoke that you can create, man, it's simple and it really just tastes great, man. So it's another element of flavor you get from that.
Man, I think you just made me hungry.
Yeah, I'm like first time someone made me hungry. Usually I'm making people hungry.
Golly. Man, I want that grill now. Thank you. That was a great kind of perspective on the pros of getting it versus the con of, just for trying to get into grilling and smoking. So people check out that Silverback, man. Geoff likes it. I'm sure you will too. So Felix, you talk a lot about gravity fed, and I just happened to go into Academy the other day and I posted a reel real quick. I was like, oh, was it
Master Build?
Old Country? Yeah, Old Country. No, not that one.
Old Country.
Old Country Barbecue Pits had theirs out. And I'm like, oh,
okay.
I'm like, what is this? All right. Now, before that, you have raved about your gravity fed. So tell us more about that and what the benefits are versus other type of smokers.
So just a little background. I started smoking just like Geoff 1 said. I started off a traditional wood. Geoff 1 said I started off traditional wood fire. Like I literally did not use charcoal. I was that running around look like a chicken with my head cut off, like putting the logs up like a log cabin, burning them down, letting the temperature rise, learning to manage, fire. And now that I look back at what I was doing, I'm like, wow, you were making charcoal trying to cook. Yeah, okay, idiot. Now you learn to use charcoal balanced with wood and having my offset and traditional smokers. And this is all home stuff. I was a devout. I don't like pellets. That's not me. Get that shit away from me. And when I got into business and starting to make content, you cannot just make a fire every day. You can't do it. And so I got a pellet smoker, and for efficiency, it was great. It was great. And literally all my gifts, it was a gift for Father's Day. A couple years later, I got this gravity fed, and I had a Oklahoma Joe's DXL, the Ryder DXL, their big boy. And after using that gravity fed, it has one moving part. It has a fan and an electronic board. That's it. Over the frustrations I had with the pellet, swollen pellets in the chamber, swollen pellets in the bucket, just having those kind of failures failing me at the wrong times, like Thanksgiving morning. And then I get this gravity fed, and military guy, fabricator, so aircraft fabricator. So we're big on efficiency, cutting the fat. And with this, there is no waste. You put the charcoal in the top, it burns through the bottom. You put the wood on the bottom, and the charcoal burns on, and all you get is ash out the bottom. You're not wasting your valuable charcoal. You're not wasting wood. It has the efficiency of a pellet smoker, and you still get your tasty charcoal flavored meats. It smokes down to 140 degrees all the way up to 700. So I've done everything on it. It has mine had a rotisserie. I've done chicken, fish, pork. Actually, one cook I did bottom layer thick cut pork chops. I did asparagus, and on the very top I did thick Texas toast. On the gravity fed.
Wow.
And of course you put those on at different times, but right. I cooked all that stuff together, and for me, I just love the efficiency. And then I get, if I want a thicker smoke ring, I just put more wood in at a more frequent time, but smoke ring doesn't indicate a better smoky flavor, because for me, I only use oak and pecan. I don't use hickory or mesquite or anything like that. And so when I got into the food truck world, I needed something big and efficient. And Stumps, I looked at a couple different companies, and Stumps had I would say the best option for me. And for volume wise, their gravity fed smoker was the best. And so far I use B&B charcoal exclusively, just because of the burn rate is longer and higher. And fun fact, you can actually smoke with their charcoal. I've done it without even putting wood in, because it's made with, it's made with wood. I love it. I wouldn't change it anyway. I haven't put it to its capacity yet. I haven't put it through those paces, but I have smoked up to, I think, 4 briskets, 4 pork butts, and 30 pounds of chicken on it at once.
Dang. Well, it did work. Man.
Well, yeah, but that thing, the capacity on it, it's just phenomenal,
And it's efficient.
So
you're not
going and very efficient.
Yeah, that's, man.
Yeah.
Is there any drawbacks to it?
Like I said, there's some fabricating of some parts I want to get done. Like I don't use a torch to light my smoker, because when I light it with the fire starters, in the food truck, I'm always doing something else, like getting other things ready, getting things prepped. So I don't want to sit a torch under my smoker on the back of my trailer and just hope it don't fall and burn my shit down. So I have a little tray built, or I usually put wood in there to hold, the fire starters up closer. You got to keep your seals clean, cleaning your seals. It's just maintenance. The clean out is great. It's a half quarter pan on the bottom for drainage. So with that big smoke I talked about, with the 4 butts, 4 briskets, and all that chicken, it filled up half the drip pan. So you have this like 12 by 12 drip pan. Cleanup is phenomenal. You just clean however many racks you have in it and clean the bottom diverter tray. So as for drawbacks, if your smoker's not on a level surface, the door is heavy as shit and it will freaking slam on you. So yeah, other than that, but no, it's a dream, advice. Man. Like literally, yeah, but literally just learning the smoker on its own, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Man. And Jeff Greer, you have a gravity fed. I think it's a char griller, right?
Yeah, char griller.
How you love that thing, man? You've been doing work on that thing for a while.
Actually, I've been a little fortunate with mine because, there's always been like a lot of people having issues with that little flap that would melt on their 980s. Mine, I've had it for over a year and I just now had that problem. And they sent me another one now, but because of the weather, I ain't even been cooking, so I haven't even put it on there yet.
Right.
But I mean, I like it, you know what I'm saying? I like the Acorn better, but
I was about to
I
ask
like
you.
the Gravity.
Yeah. So talk about the Acorn. You have the Auto Kamado, right?
Yeah, I have both of them, the Auto Kamado and the regular one, which once I got the Auto Kamado, I kind of retired the regular one because it's so easy. I can just look at my phone, be like, hey, this is happening, that's happening and stuff. So I got lazy, in other words. But for me, it's like, it's great to have both because Texas being the great state they don't want to get their power grids right. So if the power go off, I got my regular Acorn that I can use. So I'm going to have both. It's not going to go anywhere. But if one did have to go, it would be the Auto because I can always do the same things on the regular one and be able to use it no matter if I have power or not. But like when I first started.
I got a hack for you for that, Geoff.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can get one of those like some little power boxes or something that people are doing now, or some of those little solar powered.
Yeah, I use mine.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use on my big stumps.
I'm cheap. I don't want to get one.
I see them selling a lot down though.
Yeah, somebody want to send me one for free. I'll take it.
Oh,
yeah, but like Geoff was saying, when I first started my YouTube, I was using a pellet grill, which was the Pit Boss Austin XL. Right. And that thing, like I said, the smoke rings on that thing were unmatched by anything. Even like regular stick burning offsets. I was like, the smoke ring was just like beautiful, but it didn't correlate to smoke flavor. You would have the color, but you didn't necessarily always have the flavor to go with it. That's for appearance, it was great.
Right.
For taste, it was, it makes you still want to go back for that charcoal wood.
Yeah.
But with the Gravity, it takes care of all that. Like Felix was saying, you get that charcoal wood flavor, and then the ease of a pellet grill by not having to do like almost leave it and forget it as well. So for me, when I'm using it, all I'm doing is monitoring the temps, make sure it's not spiking or not dropping or something like that. And other than that, it just be going.
Man. Yeah. Some people would love the fact that they have that convenience as well and the mix with the quality, because it's hard to get, as you were saying, and I'll give this scenario, I guess, to pellet grills, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, the sear factor on it, because I saw your videos with the 980 and Geoffrey, both Geoffs actually, because you both had them. The sears on there look like they were pretty good, but I guess on pellet grill it's not so much, unless you get one that specifically has that bespoke feature that's their claim to fame. You can sear really well on it.
So with the Pit Boss I had, because it had that sear plate where you could move it and then the flames and everything could come up through it. So I really didn't have a problem searing on that. It was perfectly fine. It got well over the temperature you needed to make it happen. So I didn't have a problem with that one. I don't know. Maybe the Gorilla Grills could still do the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's a feature that's not on the Gorilla Grills. Now I do have a video coming out because I use grill grates and I got a comparison video coming out that's going to show if you take your grill grates and you flip them over, you got a flat surface that's basically almost like a cast iron pan. And so I
Is
got
that off the Gorilla? The grill grates on the Gorilla?
No. This is the separate grill grates like you see for the competition side. They cost about $80 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that backside, they're made where you can flip them over and then you can do a sear on that where you get almost, basically almost like a pan sear. So I got a video that's gonna be coming out showing that I did on a couple of ribeyes, and you can just see the difference with it. But no, I agree with you, man. That sear makes a difference when it comes to flavor.
Yeah. That's good advice. If you get a pellet grill that doesn't have that searing feature or the searing plate, it's good. Get an accessory like grill grates, and you can take care of that. That's great. So, Terrence, you have a barrel grill, if I'm not mistaken, that you recently got. How are you liking that thing, man?
Nothing real special about it. But I've been trying to see how far I can go with it and see how long of cooks I can do. I think the furthest I've taken it with just without refueling so far has been about maybe 7 hours.
That's pretty darn good.
But there was a spike in the wind, so the wind changed direction. Right,
you can't blame yourself for that.
Yeah. I mean, it went from 250 to 305 in no time, and then it was a battle. It's like when I got it back down, the wind changed again, and so I don't know. So I'm still trying to play with it because I'm saying the weather here has been crazy. Like we've gotten like a whole bunch of wind out of nowhere. You would think it was like a hurricane coming or something. And then after the wind dies down or whatever, then it gets cold again, and then it gets warm again, and then it gets cold again, and then when it gets warm again, here comes the wind out of nowhere. So
I mean, hey, God said
don't go to South Dakota because it just constantly blows. So
and then see our backyard, it changed the directions in our backyard. It'll be going this way one way, and then it'll go another way, and then it'll come like a circle around. So it's just
So you say the wind is trolling you?
Yeah, pretty much. And it didn't help that I went in the house for a little bit. That didn't help then either.
It's like he's gone. Do it.
It's the bees.
Oh man, yeah,
right, exactly. They all piled up, flapping their wings.
He was like, "What does that sound like? A fan out there?" Oh man.
Oh.
So the type of the quality of food that you get off that thing though, because it is live, it's like right there, it's direct fire, or if you could bank it to the side, but the flavor that you get off a thing, you cook a lot of chicken, you post those reels and you flip the chicken like that and you see the nice color on it. What about barrel grills do you love more than any other grills?
I guess just being country, man. Like, you always go to you always go to a cookout of somebody and somebody has one that's made. Mm-hmm. Somebody cut a barrel in half and welded it together. And it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like the food just tastes better when it comes off of one of them barrel grills.
Yeah. I can kind of picture an older cousin, pot belly over there. Just
a rusty ass grate.
Rusty. He's like, I don't know.
That's seasoning. That's seasoning.
Still eat it?
No, it's not.
It's like, man.
Now, I will say the people in my family, we keep pretty good clean pits, man. So you don't have that problem, Mom. I have seen, matter of fact, my wife and I were we leaving my folks, and this one of their neighbors, he had a grill out and he had a barrel grill, and and it was like rusted to just outside. And she was like, "Oh no, he's going to feed people off that." I said, "Yeah, he is."
Bet you they didn't get COVID.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe the inside didn't look as bad. I highly doubted how bad that thing was rusted bad.
That's a good point, because I mean, some outsides be
and
like,
I have seen some outsides that were bad. Yeah,
as long as the inside people out there, as long as the inside,
I doubt it.
The outside's that rusty, you need to question anyway. Like, you don't care.
Yeah, it's probably bad on the inside.
Yeah,
on the verge
somewhere.
Oh man. So Joe, let's talk about this offset that you have that you be doing work on over there at your place. How do you like that Lone Star?
I love the Lone Star, man. It was something I had been looking at for a while. So once I went ahead and pulled the trigger on it, then you got to wait for it to come. I mean, it better be what it's supposed to be at that point. But it was as advertised, as far as like, the product that it gave me, automatic, everything came out smoky, always got a smoke ring, and it's got a lot of versatility to it. So I have fun. If anything, out of all my grills, that's the one that I enjoy cooking on the most.
Man, so it seems like it's really versatile from how you use it, because I guess like when people think of offsets, they think of I'm like closed into this box. But the way that you had yours configured with the sear plate and all that, and that huge firebox and all that, the stack that pulls in air, tell us about the versatility of that offset versus I guess something that isn't configured like yours.
Yeah, kind of exactly what you was just saying. Normally when you talk about just having an offset grill, and I can think about like the first one I kind of started off with and everything else, you got your firebox, you got your chamber that is pretty close to, and then boop, you're going right out the top chute somewhere where they got the smokestack. So really you got a true just offset, much closer and condensed areas. So you're probably getting a lot more of that carryover from the heat box, because that usually the metal's not that thick, depending on, what kind of level we're talking about, all of that. This one, just the thickness of it alone and the heavy duty of it, you literally, once that baby gets going, it's like a locomotive. It'll hold temps really easy. It's kind of almost hard to get it to change temps unless you're, trying to change it, unless I actually opened it up, unless I put in a lot more wood. But I mean, I can easily keep whatever pretty much temperature I want with about, a stick of wood in there every, 45 minutes to an hour, and it'll hold strong. Pretty smooth and easy, clean smoke the whole way through. So the big difference when I look at that one, even though we call it an offset, like you were saying, directly over that firebox, which is huge by itself, basically you got a grill. It's two different racks, or at least two areas of the rack you can go with, whether you want to go closer to the grill and really be able to get something hot and cook something, maybe, just a quick sear or something like that, or a little bit higher up. And then on the top of that, there's that flat griddle plate that's on there. So you able to griddle as well. So I could easily, if I didn't have my Weber, I could easily just say, okay, I want to, do some direct grilling. I could totally fire up the Lone Star, take that griddle plate out, and just cook right over there in the box and not even use the offset side. The other thing that's kind of cool is when you got that griddle plate on there, I can use that and still be cooking something over in the offset, and it doesn't throw off the temperature. That's how thick that griddle plate is. So it literally, I can, warm up a pot of something with some beans on it, or I could get some barbecue sauce kind of going or something like that as I'm about to get ready and sauce something down with, or whatever have you, or have a couple things going at once. So, I mean, truthfully, I need to play more, because there's a lot that I can definitely do, but it definitely got the versatility angle for sure.
Man, I'm telling you, like,
I have a suggestion real quick that before we do this again, we all eat, because I was listening to that griddle plate and the sear. I'm like beans, and I'm like,
look,
I don't think I'm got on here, and I'm
gonna
get some barbecue. I'm gonna get some barbecue.
hungry as hell right now.
Whew,
It's only going to
goodness.
get worse. So if y'all listening, watching out there, it's only going to get worse. So y'all go get y'all something to eat while y'all listen to this. So I want to ask you something about fire management, because there's a big thing that people struggle with fire management with offsets. And I've seen your videos and how you've did experiments with your firebox and whatnot. And can you tell us like how you like the fire management system, that V-shaped device that is in your firebox, and what it does for efficiency?
Definitely. So, and obviously, if you don't have one, you don't have to. But I mean, when you really start looking at a lot of your different offsets, one of those things where you kind of know, hey, that's a little bit better than just an entry level, is if they got some kind of container for your fire. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you just got your fire laying directly on your metal. And especially in something that's going to be more closer to the, what we probably mostly start with, the gauge of that metal is not that thick. But even with a high gauge metal, eventually the fire will win. If it's just going to be laying up against it and burning, over time, it'll get to it. So having a firebox of some sort, you see sometimes just a square basket or whatever, it just helps first off to preserve your pit. Normally I remember thinking back before I really knew what I was doing and looking at my first offset, and pretty much everyone you see, even out here in Arizona where we never get rust, the first place you normally start seeing the rust develop on somebody's offset is usually in that firebox, because it's taking the brunt of all of that heat and that punishment. So just having that firebox, or a fire management bag, a box of some sort, that automatically helps. The idea of whatever one you got, whether it's the actual just square or the V, is you're trying to keep it all together. When you're just sitting there in a big open square, your fire can get loose, your ambers can be far away from each other, and then eventually that's also going to take away from your heat production, but then also you being able to keep your fire in general. So then when you throw wood on, you're getting that smoldering effect because it's taking so long for that wood to catch, so you're getting all of that smoke, white smoke usually, that's coming off because your wood's not hitting it and it's laying in a bed of coal, so it's just boom, up and going. And that could just be you got some, saturated wood too if it's not seasoned. But normally that comes from, your fire management part, not having that good coal bed when you start. But particularly that one that you got with that Lone Star, the one thing I like about it outside the fact that it's heavy duty like everything else on there, is it's got that V shape, kind of like that chalice. And basically it's always going gravity fed. It's always feeding itself. Right. It's making everything fall down towards the middle, so that way you do get that wood stacked on top of each other, and it's also keeping your coal bed together. So a lot of times you might lose a lot of your decent coals that's still burning right through the bottom of your grate. So it just keeps everything together. It keeps it nice and compact. And overall, man, I would say that was one of the biggest upgrades, where I would say that, that was a must-have. There's a lot of things I got on there because I wanted, but definitely that one would be something I would recommend to somebody, just because once you get that, the money that you're going to save and the wood that you're not necessarily burning, eventually, I think it'll take care of itself.
Wow.
I was actually going to design one of those because the smoker that was on my trailer was a offset, and I had the square box for the firebox. And even those big square boxes on those bigger smokers, you get those edge charcoal pieces and stuff that rolls down and don't burn completely. And as a fabricator, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, and I saw that V box somewhere, and I'm like, I think I rock one of those. I was actually going to do a W, so I can put the charcoal and stuff in the middle with wood, and then put wood on the two outside ones, and whatnot. But yeah, I'm glad to know that it actually worked. I never got to use it, but it's good to hear that it works well, because that's what I was thinking about.
Now they got that charcoal management basket. We're supposed to be able to put the charcoal in and do the S. That one I'm not.
Yeah.
They need some. You can get with them and y'all can work on that one.
Yeah, because I remember the video you did that, and it seems like the metal walls that were supposed to create that S were kind of causing a lot of heat retention. They were a
little thin, I think. If you ask, maybe that was more it, or maybe they need to have, because they were pretty thin. So I think the heat was just conducting straight through. So eventually, and that's pretty much what everybody had told me that had Lone Stars had that basket was after a minute it gets going, that whole thing just basically turned into Dante's Inferno, man. It just went all up in flames. But I think maybe whether they needed to have to be a little bit thicker, or maybe they needed to make it hollowed out in the middle, so that way that they could maybe make some space in between the lanes, so you could actually kind of get it going. But, you know, I mean, the basket itself, if you took out those inserts, I've had some people reach back out and say, well, I just use the basket and I'll do like the minion method or something like that, and it works pretty well. Yeah. So I might have to jump back in there this summer and you know, go another take at it like that.
You know, I think you guys.
I'll take a look. I've never seen it. I'm gonna take a look.
I mean, yeah, I had a box like that, kind of like a basket like that on my my master build, and I agree with, you know, that kind of thing that has that curve, that metal piece. It doesn't keep that heat low enough. It just burns everything. It was like, oh, you're supposed to have a snake method, and it goes a little, you know, slower. And we have this thing that makes that shape. But when I look back at it like 30 minutes later, I'm like, why the coals over there hot too, man? Oh, man, now it defeats the whole purpose. So get what you're saying. So I think you guys have talked a lot of people into thinking about what type of grill that they want to get, or smoker that they want to get going into this barbecue season. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the protein, the star protein of this week, because what we want to do is have a 3-part conversation. We're going to talk about beef, chicken, and pork. So stay tuned. After this ad, we'll be right back. We like you to meet Sweet Charlene, the barbecue seasoning created from family bonds that is low in sodium but high in flavor. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a seasoned pitmaster. Level up your barbecue game with this dry rub that has amazing taste and great color. Go to eddywrightbarbecue.com right now and order your choice between the 6-ounce shaker bottle, the 16-ounce bag, or my favorite, the 32-ounce bag, and start rubbing your beef, pork, and poultry the right way. All right, welcome back to the pod. How's everybody doing? I hope you are hungry. You got your drink, your nice libation, you know, your cigar. Everybody's relaxed, blessed, and highly favored out there. We're talking about barbecue today, man, as always. So, guys, so National Barbecue Month. I thought it was fitting that we cover the star proteins that people love to grill and smoke out there, and large categories out there in competition cooking, because we talked about competition not too long ago. So today the star protein is beef. I know we got some Texas boys in the house today that, you know, talk about some beef, and who doesn't like beef if you are a carnivore? So I want to get you guys' perspective on a couple of things. Your favorite cut of beef, the wood that you use, the type of smoker or grill that you'd like to cook this protein on, and some techniques. So let's start off with the type of cuts. I guess we'll go around the table. So Geoff. So let's start off with you, man. So with beef, I know, and I don't want to lead the witness, but I feel like I know what your favorite cut is. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but look, can I guess real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead and guess.
Am I going to guess a tri-tip?
As far as cut of steak, I'll say I enjoy tri-tip a lot because of the fact of, you know, it can feed. It works great for my household because it's just 2 of us, and just like so, it's a little more done than mine. I'm definitely medium rare. So from that perspective, you know, that always works for us. And I feel like it has a great flavor. You know, people are getting a shouting match with me between ribeye and tri-tip. But that's just a personal preference for me. But if we're talking overall beef flavor, man, I'm going to go hands down some dino ribs. I made some recently, man, and that's one of my things that I just love. It's great, man. It's not as much work as a brisket, but the flavor that you get, man, and that flavor profile and the layers of fat and that stuff just rendering down, man. And you're always gonna get a good bark, man. I just love them. Just love them.
Wow. I wasn't expecting the dino ribs, but I respect the choice. I definitely respect that because I know John, our good friend John, he makes a lot of dino ribs, and I see Greer, like some dino ribs too, man. So since we're on the dino ribs, Geoff, Greer, let's talk about the dino ribs. And is that your favorite, or is it the brisket?
Even though I'm in Texas, they like brisket is king. I still think them beef ribs. That's it for me right there. And then after that, I would go with some picanha.
Ooh.
But yeah, you can't lose with either one of those.
I haven't tried picanha.
My boy's smoking one of those right now.
Really?
He's smoking one right now.
You better go get you some.
Man. Oh man. So I think if we talk to one Texas boy, let's talk to another one. Joe, is it going to be dino ribs for you, brisket? What is yours? Because I feel it might be brisket. Am I leading the witness in the wrong direction here?
I'm in Ohio.
You're in Ohio.
I just got all these Texas teams, Spurs.
Oh, see,
everybody
I was misled. I'm sitting here thinking you from Texas, man.
No.
Oh man,
I was wondering who he was talking about.
Ohio and Mississippi. That's it.
Oh wow.
But with that said, I'll be happy to step on in there and get an answer.
All right.
You know what? To be honest, though, like Geoffrey said, but it is hard to beat that dino rib and that flavor you get up out of there. That one, it just seems like the way it crusts up. That's the one where you just taste your fingers instantly and be like, man, that's that. But instantly when you were saying that on the beat, if anything, I'm sitting here hungry for the moment. So I'm gonna throw out just to kind of switch it up a little bit, an easy one that I could always fall back on when I really want to treat myself. And it's about that time to go with one of them tomahawk ribeyes. I hate to spend all of that money. They got to go into that bone, But every once in a while, it sure is nice, man. To just have you that's a man steak right there. You know what I mean?
Yes, Lord.
You can't do that all the time to yourself. You shouldn't do that all the time to yourself. But every once in a while, man, you should bless yourself with something like that.
Oh yeah,
man. I have to agree. I did have that one. Oh Lord. Oh man.
Yeah.
Whew. I had to take a rest from beef after that one, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah.
Terrence, you told us the brisket story many times. So I don't know if that detoured you from that being your favorite cut of beef, but please.
Man. I would say right now, thanks to Geoff, I'm really loving them tri-tips, man. He introduced me to that, and going against the ribeye, I would have to say I prefer a tri-tip. Wasn't sure that I would, but it's just the flavor of the meat is just hats off, Geoff. I see what you were talking about. My wife loves them too because she's big on ribeyes, but after that first time we had a tri-tip, it's like when we getting another one.
Is it easy to find now? Because I know it was kind of sketchy.
I hadn't looked recently, but the last few times that I looked for one, they were easy to find. Went to a butcher. He had one or two that was left. One that he brought out that was in the back, it was enough for a family. I was like, hey, it's just this is dinner for two, not a whole family. And I'm like, it's a whole lot of fat on that, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Why don't you cut some of that off and then weigh it?
he weighing it with the bone. Like, is there a bone in there?
As is. Nah, man. You just gonna cut that anyway. Do your work. I'll wait. I feel you on that, man. Felix, I guess I got a 2-part question for you.
All right.
What is your favorite cut, and what do the customers ask for the most?
Well, my favorite cut is equal to your 2-part. On my smoker, on my food truck, I love brisket. Brisket's my favorite thing to smoke. I can smoke a brisket in my sleep. Like it's, I've done so many brisket experiments that it's crazy. But for me personally, I love the tomahawk. Like, that was my thing. Like, I go to Sam's and I had to not go where the tomahawks were at, because it was like I've been getting briskets and I would go by and I'm like, man, it's only $25.
Right.
Looks so pretty.
And then with that master build, that reverse sear, you smoke it to 215 or 115. Sorry, and then you pull it off and you nuke it. Then you crank it up and get it at 700 and sear and let that baby rest with some compound butter on top. Like the best one I ever smoked. I was making a video and I went to cut it, and so I grabbed it and the bone like fell off. Ooh. And then I went to cut it and it was like pulled pork, and I had to like hold it together, and you can kind of see me in the video. I'm like trying to hold it and show me cutting it. But it came out perfectly rare, but also I like tri-tip, add some chimichurri to it, and I smoke it like a brisket or like a prime rib. It's all in what I'm feeling. Beef's my thing. I love beef in any form. Hell, I'll take a chuck roast, smoke it like a brisket, make loose meat sandwiches, and dog, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. But on the food truck, what the customers ask for, surprisingly, not surprisingly, they love brisket, but surprisingly, I have people that don't even know brisket's beef.
That's troubling.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. I'm like, they're like, what's the brisket? And I'm like, it's brisket. Like, I don't know what you mean.
I don't know what to say now. Do you just stare at him like?
I just go
playing
beef.
with me. It's beef. It's a cow.
Yeah, but and if anyone has worked with customers, you will get asked some very interesting answers, and I just say, bless your heart, it's beef.
Hey, bless your heart. Love that, man. from
and then when you walk in the food truck, then you say. Yeah.
Man.
Hey, Charlie. So Charlie, what's your cut, man?
I'm not a beef person. I'm more of a pork person, but I will say this. My wife has put me on that ribeye and she made me cook ribeye so much during the pandemic. I think I could cook that thing with my eyes closed. I swear to God. The spinalis of the ribeye is my favorite. It's just, if you get it to that medium, that perfect medium, like I like it, I could eat that thing all day. Now I'll be sick, but I'll eat it all day. I don't know. So what I
had one for breakfast today.
Yeah, man. So what I like to do with my ribeye is, and hopefully I can get a tomahawk. Now you guys taught me into wanting tomahawk.
Yeah. So I think I'm on board.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. Just put that thing on there. I let it roll about 250 on whatever grill I'm on. It's usually the Weber when I'm doing a ribeye, and cook it indirect. I got some pecan chunks in there, and just let it go until it gets about 120. And I put some garlic herb butter on there. They're like, why you put it on there right before you sear it? I don't know. Works out for me. And put it right over the direct fire. Ooh, take it off at 140. And
I think this is a sign. I was thinking about that today.
Yeah. It's a sign.
I don't know why, but I was just in the car. I was like, man, I want a tomahawk.
Yes. Yeah. I'm glad we're having this conversation. man, it's about to happen. So I wanted to ask you guys, with all the cuts that we love, what is your favorite wood? Because I mentioned pecan. What is your favorite wood to cook with beef? Let's start with T.
I don't know if I really have a favorite. I guess I would say my go-to is pecan. I tried some post oak recently, and I like it. It's cool. It's cool, but my go-to is pecan.
Yeah. How about you, Joe? Do you use a blend of wood? I feel that you might use a blend of, or is it oak?
Every once in a while I might, but traditionally I'm pretty much going with pecan.
Pecan? Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I like that. Okay. How about you, Felix?
Just like these gentlemen, I go with pecan. My reasoning behind it is pecan and oak. It doesn't react adversely to your food. You can cook anything from fish to beef with it, so that's why I like lighter woods. And so when people do ask me about wood, I say you can't go wrong with anything oak, any tree that fruits or any tree that grows nuts, except for cherry. Cherry acts more like mesquite or hickory, but oak and pecan.
I like that. How about you, Greer?
For me, I usually use hickory, but I'll also sometimes do a mix, like a 2-to-1 mix of hickory and pecan.
I like that. Yeah. I like to mix pecan and hickory together. It feels like I get a good balanced flavor. Feels.
Yeah.
I tried to do the I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my ratio, but I tried to mix the oak and the pecan. Sometimes maybe it's user error. I just don't. It's good, but it's not like the hickory to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just personal preference, but I do like oak. Oak seems to kind of give that I don't know if it's the color per se, but it kind of gives me a better appearance when I'm doing the reverse sear rather than pecan by itself. So I do like to mix it with that. I like that. How about you, Geoff?
You gotta unmute yourself, Geoff.
Yeah,
just like every call.
Sorry about that. Nah, look, y'all know I'm team post oak all day, every day, man. So I love it, man. It's one of those woods that before I found it, I was kind of hopping around, as my pastor would say, from pillar to post, and then finally landed on post oak, and I was good, man. So I love it, man. It's just a good good blend, and it's really mild, man. It's one of those things where you still get the flavor from it, but it's not overpowering, and I can use it on everything.
Exactly.
Man. I've done it with fish all the way up to beef, man. So I love it.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. I noticed no one said mesquite. Is there any reason why no one likes to use mesquite?
So
I actually have some mesquite that I will only pull out when I'm doing a brisket, because that chunk of meat can handle that intense flavor and stuff you get from mesquite. But using it on like anything smaller than that, I really don't like to use it because it's just too strong for it.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback off of that. I'm in the same boat. Mesquite trees out in Arizona is kind of native, so that's one of the few woods you can always get a hold of pretty easy. So I know, like, I cut trees down here at my house, and after a while, it had been sitting there, and mesquite is such a strong wood. I know that's another one that a lot of times a lot of people in Texas swear by. But for me, I know I did chop me up some real small, like little blocks out of it over time. And sometimes I'll use that when I'm on my Weber grill and I'm trying to get a little bit of smoke into something because I know I'm not going to be cooking that long. So I'll use that stronger smoke on that, kind of, try to use more of the strategy with it. But as far as smoking with it, I try to stay away from it, man, personally.
Yeah. Well, I did it the first time I really used it. I was actually seasoning the grill, and the first thing I like to smoke on the smoker is pork, bacon. And I was sitting there, and I was like, "Oh, I just got this extra mesquite," and I put it on there, and I was seasoning that grill. I pulled that bacon off. I went and took a bite. My tongue went numb. I was like, I was like, oh shit! But that's why, like, I don't want. People are paying for smoke flavor and food. You're feeding your family for the food. The food is the star of the show.
Right. So
I don't want anything sauce or seasoning or wood that's gonna interrupt the taste of that beef, that pork, that chicken, that fish. And so mesquite it's a hardwood. The acid that comes out of that smoke, and that's what's interacting with that meat, is breaking it down. And it's just binding to it, and you can overdo it. You can mess up a good cut of food, a good cut with that type of meat. And I just figured we're here for smoke. Smoke is smoke, technically. And you get that with the pecan, you get that with your oak, and it takes that error out of the equation.
Agreed.
Yeah. That's good. That's good info, man. I wanted to ask you guys about smokers or grills. Just personal preference, I guess, going around. There's no right or wrong with this. Maybe what you have, or what you if you have multiple grills or smokers, is your go-to. And it might be different for the cut of beef that goes along with what you said earlier. So let's start off with Geoff in Nevada. I gotta think of another nickname. So So Geoff, what is your favorite grill or smoker to use to make your favorite cuts of beef?
I gotta say, Kamado style. Just from the aspect of how you can take that thing from low to high. And it'll hold temp. It'll get in there, and that thing can get locked in, man, and you'll be good. So I've always liked Kamado style grills ever since getting my first Acorn a while back.
Man, yeah, you did a lot of tri-tips on there, I must say. Yeah.
Well, yeah, man, I love. Hey, man, when you can take that thing and you can literally go from get your temperature to where you're at 250, 275. And then within about 5 minutes, have that thing ready to sear at 500-600 degrees. Those, and you think that vent is so small. You're like, but dude, I mean, you open that bottom vent and that top vent, that thing just goes. So I love them, man.
Yeah, it got away from me one time. I was like, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, they go too high, man.
It wasn't ready.
You're gonna wait to get it back down.
No, didn't work out. Kept eyes on it though. So, Greer, what about you?
So for me, it depends on the cut. So if it's the bigger ones like the dino ribs and the brisket, I'm usually using my gravity. If it's something where I'm going to do a sear at the end, like ribeyes or tri-tip, something like that, or picanha, things like that, then I'm on the Kamado. So bigger size equals the bigger grill for me, and the smaller size gets the smaller grill, where I know I'm going to crank that heat up and put some markings on it. So,
Yeah. I guess that goes along with technique too, and that's a good bit of advice to have, just to make it easy for people that are trying to get into barbecue. You have your smaller cuts, deal with a more manageable grill for that cut. Don't light up a large grill for a small cut of steak. Versus if you have a brisket, don't try to cram it. If you can avoid it, don't try to cram it on a small grill. So yeah, that's a good bit of advice. T, what about you, man? I know you love the barrels.
Same thing. Go smaller for a smaller cut of meat. Funny story. When you said about lighting up a whole grill, I've seen somebody light up a big barrel grill. They didn't use much fuel, but to make a hot dog, and because they didn't have a smaller portable. Hey, when man said he really wanted a hot dog.
I was about to say.
He said he really wanted a hot dog.
George Foreman.
He really wanted a hot dog. He had no other option, and he said he wanted that charcoal flavor. Hey, he put him a little pile.
You could have got some foil and like.
After his wife saw that, she went on Amazon and ordered the little small tabletop.
I thought you were going to say she asked for a divorce because she saw that was a sign.
He was just like, hey, I know you want.
Couldn't have made two hot dogs.
Sometimes you got to use what you got.
Yeah, at least the whole pack.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Sometimes,
the whole pack.
I think he had like two on there. I think one or two. I was like, wow.
Personal.
Yeah, I would have tried to do the whole pack and just for the sake of, because after that's done, it's just sitting there burning. I mean, he might have smothered it. I doubt it though.
I gotta say, I love your stories, man, because from the brisket story, that story. It's like if you see that stuff coming when you go to a cookout, you should leave immediately. Oh man. So Joe, how about you, man? I see that you've done work on the Lone Star and the Weber. I know you got a mix of the two, so you can mix a little technique on there too to kind of combine it into those two topics if you want.
Yeah, I would definitely say, like everybody was saying, that it's going to come down to what cut of meat I'm doing. Anything that's large enough that I can, I'm going over to the Lone Star, because overall, the taste and the flavor that I can get out of that wood on that offset, kind of like Geoff was saying earlier, it's unmatched on any of the other ones I'm going to go to. If I'm going down to something that's small enough, though, and like let's say we're talking like just steak, though, I love being able to get directly over those charcoals, even though I still set up the two zones, but being able to get that sear over those charcoals over there in that Weber is usually where it's at for me. That's probably where I would go more times than not.
I like that. Yeah. And it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Felix, how about you? Do you have a mix of it, or you have just one that does everything that you need?
So first off, I'm going to ask, I'm not going to make this about women or men. The smoker in the house, please go to the bathroom. If you are the smoker in the house, don't let your significant other hear this. After getting my gravity fed, I don't need no other smoker. I'm sorry. I had 4 smokers on my patio, and I was ready to sell them all. Because for one, to me, it's efficiency. And after that, it's all about how much meat I'm doing. True. Like literally, that's the only reason my other smokers sat around, is if I had a big party at the house, I would use those other ones, but it was all about that gravity fed, because for me, it did everything. I got the flavor. I can go up to 700. I can go down as low as I want. I did a tomahawk on it, wow. You have that charcoal sitting in there, you light it, you have your baffles, you turn it on. It's like turning on an oven. It's not hard to do. So I've done 2 20-pound briskets on it. That was the best choice for me. I've never actually used a Kamado, or anything like that before. Weber, definitely used the Weber, offset, standard smoker, reverse. But yeah, definitely for me, it's just gravity all around.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, if you can have that one smoker that does everything you need, that's a blessing for you, man. I like that.
Yeah.
So I want to give it back to the listeners and the people watching. Let's have you guys included in the conversation. Leave us a voice memo at blacksmokebarbecue at gmail.com. You can send us that, or there will be a link to voicemail. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it back on the show. You never know. You might hear yourself like, oh, that's me. So tell us, what is your favorite cut of beef, and what wood do you like to use? What smoker do you have that you like to cook it on? And what are your techniques? Reverse sear, not reverse sear, just go straight direct the whole time? Let us know. And definitely we'll play it back on the show. So guys, before we wrap up the show, I want to do two things. I wanted to remind the people out there that we are on the social platforms. You know us on YouTube, but we are definitely on IG. If you don't know what IG is, it's Instagram for the older folks. I'm not being ageist. Leave me alone. And we're on, not about to say it.
All right,
and,
youngin.
Yeah, you're like, so we're on Facebook too. So we're getting everything ready for you guys to start engaging with us. Ask us questions. We'll give you tips, tricks, or if you just want to sit back and watch our reels, our videos, please do so. And like, comment, and share with everybody that is a part of this crew. So with that being said, let's start with where people can be found on the socials. Let's start with Geoffrey Boyd. Where can they find you, man?
You can find me on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram and Facebook at Outdoors with Geoff.
All right. And how about Geoff Greer?
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. All at Grill and Smoke Barbecue.
All right. And Felix?
You can find me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Who That's Food and Catering. Or if you look up BBQ, you can find my YouTube also.
Joe, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on YouTube and Instagram under Killer Miller Q. It's QUE. And then on Facebook, they didn't like that Killer Miller too much, so we just went under Joe Miller.
Ooh, yeah. Somebody messed up.
They didn't know what I was all about, man.
Yeah. They get a little.
I ain't killing nothing but tri-tips, Geoff. I ain't hurt nobody.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you, man. You killing the game out there. That's all. Ain't gonna hurt nobody.
It's funny how they catch that, but they miss the other stuff though.
Man, you ain't lying because it be some stuff floating. I'm not the problem.
Definitely not. No. So, T, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, TDub BBQ.
All right. You can find me at Maverick Barbecue everywhere on the socials. And, Geoff, do you have anything else to share with the peoples out there before we conclude with this pod, man?
No, I just want to thank everybody for listening. Keep a listen out because we got some great episodes coming up. We got some great guests coming, but a lot coming here from Black Smoke Barbecue. But definitely appreciate everybody that's been on this voyage with us. We've got roughly about 14 episodes under our belt, and we're going to have a lot more content coming. But just wanted to thank everybody and thank you guys. It's always a pleasure sitting down with you. But this is Black Smoke Barbecue, and we're out.